Hey everyone, hope things are going well for you. I just wanted to go over this dirt in your shoe, hot do, kind of the preliminary ideas of what we're going to do for this, another unique event. So we're just going to dive right in here, and there's probably a good chance some of these things are going to be modified as it's about 3 weeks out, and it's only been about 5 days since kind of the idea came along. So, we're just going to go through here, hopefully to answer some of your questions about how everything is going to work. All right. So, going about the event. As of right now, we have two times that we're going to kind of gear towards starting. Now, one's at 7, one's at 9. These are by no means a hard time, like that you have to start absolutely at 7 or at 9. This is going to be more for like if you want to have a start with others around you. Again, not like crowded or anything. We're probably going to only have might only be 10 or 20 people spaced out. And it also depends on what guidelines we have with USAT at that time. But right now we're guaranteed up to at least a time trial style start, and we may be able to do within the next week here more of a groups that start. So that again will be modified. And I say if you're kind of wanting some people, that you're racing against right there, you could come to one of those those times where we're starting with groups. Or if you want to have a little bit more distance, kind of just be out there, you can really start anytime in between. And then we'll also open up some other times as well. So this is kind of, this is just the idea. It's going around, we'll probably change. We'll use our Facebook page, maybe see when different people want to start. So lots of ideas here, but don't just think that we're going to start absolutely at 7 or absolutely at 9. And that's already changed. I had it at 8 and 10, but then when I looked at the sun, I was like, we got plenty of time, plenty of light at 7 a.m. And I say, if some people maybe even wanted to start before, we could probably accommodate that. We're really going to see what happens here, but nothing's really just a hard set in stone start time. The course is going to be very similar to the Dirt in Your Shoe do, with a 2-mile run, 8-mile bike, and another 2-mile run. I'll have more with the course maps that a little bit later in this presentation here. All right, those who are wanting more of a clinic, because this is actually sanctioned as a clinic, since we're not going to have these results aren't going to be sent to USAT or anything. I say this would be a great opportunity to kind of see, how a multi-sport race works, and we'll even have some coaches there and can kind of show you, like, hey, this is how this is how transition set up. Go out and bike lap if you want. But the official, like our official race, if you're wanting a time for that, is going to be the 2-mile run, 8-mile bike, and then another 2-mile run. But you can do any portion of that you want. It's really, again, it's really up to you. We're just wanting to have this kind of event offered for people that have really been itching to get out there, practice their racing, get out there and do a race, because that's kind of how we sanction this clinic. Is it's a race pace clinic. You're learning kind of how to race again, how to pace yourself again. So that's kind of how we're having that set up. Let's see. This is a bare bones event, so what that means is we're just going to give you the necessities for being able to do a race, which is having a marked course, results, and we'll have restrooms for you. We'll also have water available, but we're going to be really wanting people to be self-supported, so possibly taking water on the run, or actually I'm really highly recommending taking water on both runs, but definitely the second run as it's going to start being hot, and have a place to have water on your bike. Timing, we're going to see kind of how to do this. It'll either be manually done or self-reported. That's a big cost, and also with the timing straps, collecting those and whatnot. This is what's helping really keep this whole thing down. There's a lot of things we're doing to keep the price lower, because this is only $25 to do this. So we're just covering pretty much the insurance and the land use fee. And like it says down there, land use fee is included in its registration price. So when you pay the $25, you're good to go at that point. All right, safety. Depending on where we're at with the guidelines, we're gonna follow those social distancing guidelines as well as the USAT triathlon guidelines. We'll probably stay a little bit more on the safer side of those guidelines, just because we are one of the earlier events happening. And again, this is definitely going to be a small event, and we're going to be spaced out quite a bit between different groups starting. And I can't remember if I even mentioned that we have some of those morning times, but we have this venue for the whole day, so we might even have like an evening start time that I might add like a 6:30. I mean, just don't be out there 3 hours when it's going to get dark, but we could have like a 6 or a 6:30 if you're more of an evening person, or if you have some other commitments that morning. Hey, come out the evening and get a time. Again, it's going to be probably some sort of self-reporting or someone just manually taking your time down. There's going to be a transition area, but no racks. This will help encourage a little bit more distance between the athletes. And this is also similar. If you've ever done an adventure race, they don't bring out racks for those. You either prop your bike against a tree or just lay it on the ground. It's not going to hurt the bike. Just don't lay it on the drivetrain side. But again, that's going to help, just with everything. And like I said before, there's water available, but we're going to encourage you to be self-sufficient during this. The water, you'll see on the maps where I'll have a water station. Not going to have any volunteers out there. That's just another, issue that could arise. So the water is just gonna, it's just going to be, the water is going to be out there, and if you absolutely need it, it'll be there for you. Also, there's no awards with this. That's another thing with USAT. They're wanting to move to even if you do awards, using virtual awards, which we might try to do that. I'm going to try to see what I can do with possible virtual awards. But you're going to get a time. You're going to get to compete against other people, and that's kind of, we're trying to, again, this is a bare bones event. Some ideas of what you could do. Bring a friend. Whoever wins, the other person has to buy dinner. One of the ideas I have is, let's say I want to race someone who's faster than me. Be like, hey, can you give me a 2-minute head start, and I'll see if I can cross the finish line before you. Now, your time would be, obviously that person's going to beat me, but let's see if I can, with that 2-minute lead, can I hold them off, or 5 minutes, or do something fun, kind of make up a time difference to go for. So there's a lot of ideas you can go with this, since you don't have to just start right when the gun goes off. I mean, we'll have that for the people who want that, but again, you don't have to do that. And also, there won't be any post-race food or anything you want. Bring yourself, whether it's food or some sort of beverage that you really like to have at the end of a race. I say just bring that. So parking, this right here, this part is part of the actual course. Let me go back to one of the safety things. That just reminded me. By doing this race here, this is a super safe venue, because the only people that are going to be on this land are people that are racing. So you don't have to worry about if you were to go, bike on some trails. You'll have a lot of hikers and people that don't know what's kind of going on because you're racing by or trying to go fast. This is going to be the great thing here. It's only going to be whoever's participating out on these trails and even driving in and out. So we're going to be kind of looking out for one another as that happens. So that's going to keep things actually a lot safer than if you were to just hold this out at like, Huntsville State Park or something like that, where there's the opportunity for hikers, or if this were on road and you're dealing with cars. And like I said, this is where you're going to be driving in here. This is also part of the bike course. So as you come in, we'll probably have a couple of volunteers just to help, remind you to drive slow through here. We're not going to have any vehicles past this point. We were thinking, hey, we could park some people up here, but we're going to save that for just like some of the, event staff and whoever's really helping out, because the bike course does come out onto these trails here, but the way it comes out, it can make it difficult if I could just see like a bad scenario, like a bike comes out and a car is coming by and you just really can't see one another. But here, the bike's going along, that's really not an issue. So the parking will be here, and you get to have a little practice going up this hill to start off. Come back to that. The run, very much just what the dirt in your shoe do is just around the lake. Pretty wide open here, not really technical trails. It'd be very easy to follow. Here's where the water station is going to be. It's going to be roughly halfway through. See a good bit of elevation here. So it's definitely a fun course if you have not done it. And then we'll go to the bike course. If you've done one of our races, there's a difference here, and I put that in blue. When you come around here, you're not going to turn and come back up this way. You're actually going to follow this blue, which is the run course. And we did this because of just logistics, getting a time, and then also, we're not going to have a ton of volunteers out there. It's just going to be very minimum, 3 or 4 people, just club members kind of helping out. So the bike course will come back through here, and as you can see, these spots right here where where the parking is, the bike course comes out here. That's why I don't want cars coming by, or this one, because it is downhill heading into this turn. Bikers have a tendency to kind of go a little bit farther onto the driveway, so that's why I don't want any cars past this point. And here's kind of how everything's going to flow. And I've already had a few changes on this just since I've been going through this. We'll start right up here on the top, right at the end of transition. And actually the finish, I'm going to move to just over here. So that way, if we have someone manually timing, they can see when someone decides to start and also when they finish. We'll probably have the results over here at the cabin. But what you would do, just a quick run through, you'll run a lap, you do your run around the lake pretty much, and then you come back and you're going to go through transition. And transition will either be on just one side or might even be on both sides. So if your bike's right here, you just grab your bike and then head off and do 2 laps of the bike course. So you do 1, and then you'll go through. And again, this is part of the course, but we'll have it set up to where you're just kind of grabbing your stuff. You'll go through and then do your 2nd lap on the bike, come through, drop off your bike, do another lap on a run, and again, I'm going to probably move the finish to just across this road right here just to make it a little bit easier for everyone. So run through here, and that's how you'll end your time. If you feel like you didn't get a good enough time, go ahead and go at it again. We'll take the better time, whatever works out for you. Just lots of ideas with this, and it's just going to give us something fun to do in these hard times. And you can kind of do whatever you feel comfortable with. If it means that you do this, do your race with with no one else around, that's totally fine. That's up to you. If you want to have that, a little bit of companionship, like a smaller group, we can make that happen. Again, since we have the manual and the self-reported timing, it's gonna make things a lot easier. So again, we're about 3 weeks out. Some of these things are going to change, but I encourage you to register early so we can, get the things that we need to. We still need to, have to pay for the sanctioning. The land use fee again is included. That's after, and then still got to pay to get some porta potties out there and whatnot. So yeah, if you get a chance, and spread the word, let people know about this. And it is a USAT sanctioned event, so you will need an annual USAT license or a 1-day pass. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and I'll probably have something about a week out giving a little bit more details and making sure this is all kind of dialed in for what we plan to do. So hope everyone has a good Memorial Day weekend, and hopefully we see you out there. All right, take care.